Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sonic Heroes on the Microsoft Xbox. I am one well sheep yet again.
Let me go! I want to play!
Fancy place!
Where there's light, there's shadow. Careful.
Yahoo!
Here's your next mission. Disguise yourselves and infiltrate into the city. Goal is to collect 200 rings. This is a test of luck.
Well, not really a test of luck because rings are scattered about every which way in this place. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this here is a This here is a mission where we need to go and collect the rings. So get your collectathon on, get your roulette reels on, get everything on in order to collect as many rings as possible. And while you can collect rings by... What's going on? There we go. While you can collect rings just by going through the slot reels and what have you, I honestly don't recommend that. What I sort of recommend throughout the course of this zone is basically...
One eternity later.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get up here. Basically, just progress through the stage as you normally would, and you will eventually be able to pick up all of the rings. However, be careful, because they are bad nicks, there are bad guys about, and of course, if you get hit by a bad guy, well, you are going to lose all of your precious, precious rings. What can I tell ya, ladies and gentlemen? What can I tell ya? Indeed. But one thing I do sort of recommend is keeping an eye out on your Team Blast gauge and try and keep that as high as possible at all times. Because whenever you come across loads of enemies, whenever you find loads of Eggman's robots lying about the stages, you can basically spam the Team Blast in order to gain a crap ton of rings to spam over and over and over and over again in order to get more and more rings. What can I tell you? So, basically the Team Blast is one of the keys to getting this stage done quickly, you know, folks. Also, one thing I actually haven't mentioned in this game as well is the fact that the ranking system from Sonic Adventure 2 makes a big return. You've been seeing it throughout the course of the playthrough up until this point, if you've been watching this playthrough chronologically. But, yeah, basically, the ranking system from Sonic Adventure 2 has made a return. It is basically exactly as you remember it. You collect rings to gain points, you kill badniks to gain points, and you go fast to get points. And the more points you get, the higher rank you get at the end of the stage, with A being the highest rank, and E being the lowest. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen?
Whoa, not bad! Here we go!
You know, to this day, it really surprises me how his singing is so bad that it can destroy all of Eggman's robots just upon them hearing it. That's ridiculous. Never go in the X Factor, Jesus Christ. You'll be done for being a murderer. The police will be all like, "You're nicked, son," and you'll be trapped in a police station forever and ever because he has poor singing voice. But, yeah, the ranking system does make a return. I do find, however, it is a lot easier in this game to get A ranks as opposed to Sonic Adventure 2. This game is a lot more lenient in terms of the points that you need to collect. Because one thing I will say about Sonic Adventure 2 is I've collected all of the A ranks in the game once, and I've decided after that one time I'm never doing it again. Purely because it's so much work. You need to do so well in order to get hold of the A ranks, you know, folks, and this game doesn't have the same problem. You still need to sort of do good to get the A ranks, but you know, it's not nearly as big a challenge as it was previously. It's a lot easier, it's a lot more toned down, which I do appreciate. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? But anyway, now we are on the VIP table on the stage, and this is where you can get an absolute shit ton of rings just by going up and on all these slot reels and just doing your best to jump into them whenever you can. And do be careful, because you can actually lose rings when you go through the slot reels. Every now and then there is a chance that an Eggman face will pop up, and if you get the Eggman face 3 times in a row, you will lose a great chunk of rings. So yeah, that's a VIP table. You can actually reach the VIP table as Sonic, but I honestly can't remember how. You need a very certain You need to get a certain switch somewhere in the stage, and I always lose track of wherever the switch is actually located, so, you know.
Perfect! The work of professionals!
Yeah, okay, whatever you say, Vector, you're definitely a professional. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, the Chaotix crew just, I don't know, I always picture the Chaotix as being really, really bad at their jobs. I don't know why.
Here's your next mission. Eggman's hideout is located in first block. Chips to enter the hideout. Collect 10 chips.
I'll take the lead.
So yes, in this mission here, folks, we need to collect 10 casino chips during the course of the zone. I do believe there are more than 10 chips in the actual zone itself, but it can be a little bit tricky to find all of them. So just keep an eye out whenever you can, ladies and gentlemen, and use my guide by here if you get lost in finding these. There is plenty of multiple routes you can go down on this zone, so basically if you reach the end of the stage, then feel free to loop back around and take a different route, which you will probably see me do, because I do recall it. It took me a couple of runs to get all the VIP chips on this level. But yeah, going back to what I was just saying, I honestly do like to think of the Chaotix crew as just this mess of babbling idiots, you know, who just happen to have a detective job, but they're bad at their jobs. I don't know. It's just that's my personal headcanon, where they're just really horrible at what they do. So that's why they're always struggling for rent, because no, they're basically struggling to get jobs. I don't know. I like to think that it's probably completely untrue, but you know, you never know. You never know. I mean, for God's sake, they have an 8-year-old bee at the helm here. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, why would you employ a bee to be part of the Chaotix crew? Unless that comic book I mentioned previously was right, and they used Charmy the Bee as like a tax write-off. In that case, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's one way to get around taxes, I suppose, but I have no idea. But anyway, moving onwards to this rest of the stage. This is a bit of the finickiness I mentioned previously with the plants. Like, those plants are really a pain in the ass to jump on, and I don't like them. No, sir, I do not. I really wish they sort of made the plants a little bit wider, you know, a little bit more rounded, so you can actually land on them a lot easier than you do, because they're just deceptively difficult to land on, and it's just not cool. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? What can I tell you? Indeed. But yeah, one of the big things about this stage, like I said, is this is one of the biggest stages in terms of multiple pathways, which means finding all of these chips can take time. It can take a lot of effort and trouble, and again, I think there's more than 10 chips in the stage, but I could very well be wrong, so do not quote me on it, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you get chips by going down each of these slides, which you actually skip the slides and you go down a completely different pathway if you use these flowers, which, for the love of God, Charmy, just stand on the flower. Just get on the damn flower. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, see what I mean about the flowers? They're the fucking pain in the ass. I really don't like them. I know, sir, I do not. But, yeah, generally, the general rule of thumb by here is just to keep an eye out, you know. This is more of a collectathon level than it is a go to the finish line, so you can quite easily skip. You can quite easily skip casino chips, so whenever you get to a new area, usually the best thing you can do is look behind you and then look up and see if there's a casino chip nearby you, like I just did by here. I looked behind me and lo and behold, there was a casino chip there. So, you know, you just need to keep an eye out, and the biggest trouble you're probably going to have is collecting all the chips your first time through. Like, I believe I'm at the end of the stage now with half of the chips needed. So, you know, when you jump back on this flower, the stage will pretty much loop back around. Oh wait, not quite yet, we do have a slide sequence, but the stage will loop back around. We're getting close to the end of the stage. I actually forgot the slide sequence was here, to be perfectly honest. But, yeah, generally you're going to find yourself going through the stage multiple times, like maybe 2 to 3 times, give or take. What can I tell ya? But if you're following my game as a guide by here, what I sort of recommend if you're doing it the same way as I am is go down the slides second, you know, because just for the sake of walkthrough purposes, it makes it easier to figure out which chips you've collected and which chips you missed, you know, folks. So you can always just go down the slides after you've gone through the main stage itself, which, you know, it can be kind of good because it leaves the tedious and most annoying portion to last. Because seriously, I'm telling you, the physics on these damn slidey bloody pinball tables are broken. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if you can do this no problem your first time through. Well, good job, you. I'm not you now, am I? If I had my own way, I would. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this train of thought. Although it does sort of look like that the slides themselves end right where the flowers usually are, so I don't know, maybe you can just skip the flowers and go down the slides and collect all of the chips that way. So I don't know, maybe go down the slides first. I don't know, it's up to you guys. I'm not telling you what to do, it's your way if you want to play the game. This is just the way I did things. It could be the right way, it could very well be the wrong way. But it's just how it worked out. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? What can I tell you, indeed? Yes. But yeah, this is a perfect example of how the Chaotic Crew stages can go on for longer than they can go on for a little bit longer than most stages, you know. This is the perfect example, because this stage is going to go on for around 7 to 8 minutes, and I'm even cutting stuff out. So, you know, if you didn't believe me when I said these stages can take their time, well, here's your proof, ladies and gentlemen. Here is your proof. But, you know, I love that Team Blast, by the way. Later on in the game, you're going to see the Team Blasts actually do some ridiculous amount of damage and get me an insane amount of rings. Like, when you're playing as Team Chaotix, you can actually max out your ring count to 999 quite easily, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Which I don't know if I do in this playthrough. I may do. It's been so long since I recorded it, but I digress.
Dr. Eggman!
You've made quite a mess here. I'll accept your apologies and payment with your lives.
Want some? Come and get it!
On guard.
Guard on!
Get them.
There we go. See how many rings I just got from that? And you get even more later down the line. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you can get an absolute shit ton of rings from these battles. Like, the one later down the line when we're in the Hang Castle area. That's insane. But, I'm not going to spoil that too much. Until then, thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And I'll catch you all next time, as we continue with the rest of Team Chaotix's playthrough. So yeah, don't be sheepish. Catch you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!